uses sex all the time to get choice assignments, the best cases. Me, they send to the airport to sniff packages. And did you ever see her trying to trap a peeping Tom standing in front of a window in her lingerie? Well, it's not like that in real life, Angie. I tried it. The peeping Tom crept up, reached in, and pulled down the window shade. I mean, look at her. Take away the blonde hair, the gorgeous face, and the sexy body, and what have you got?
You.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just couldn't sit back and watch this imposter portray a policewoman on television without letting the public know what a real policeman feels and suffers for the long hours. The ever-present danger. My life on the line from moment to moment. But do I complain? No, I'm a dedicated public servant. Protecting the citizens of this city. I've never asked for anything, and I've never received anything.
I have something for you.
Oh, really, Angie? What?
A citation for overacting.
Bitch!
Rest in peace to the great Ruth Buzzy.
Now, folks, before we start, you might wonder why we didn't release this episode about the Star Wars Droids and Ewoks animated series on May 4th for Star Wars Day. Well, today is Revenge of the 5th. Mike, are you okay? Oh, yeah, you're giving me the bird. You don't like that joke, huh? No? Hey, it could have been worse. We could have summoned the Hulkster here and he could have just come into the room.
I was just going to say it could have been worse. It could have been Gene Wickline delivering that joke.
Did I hear somebody say it, Hulk?
Oh, thanks a lot, Greg.
Oh, God.
You know I'm the WWE's version of Darth Vader.
You wish.
Excuse me. I'm breathing that way because I need my asthma inhaler.
Hey, good luck on that venture with Eric Bischoff, buddy.
We're going to be bigger than the UFC, brother.
Sure. Whatever you say, Hulkster.
And just remember, when you hear about Izzy-style wrestling, that's not some type of way you can get food done at In-N-Out Burger, brother.
Oh, my God. Yes, Chico, that's exactly what we should be doing. The Yankees thumbs down pose right there. Okay, let's talk about some droids and some furry Ewoks.
Can we talk about some real American wrestling, brother?
No!
Well, screw you. How about some real American Ewoks wrestling? Just play the damn music.
How could that even be possible? The Ewoks live on a forest moon in Endor. They don't live in America.
Oh, so you're saying they're illegal aliens? I'm calling ICE on them.
Chico, please, save us!
Play the damn music!
Anthology on the bad, short-lived, and forgotten shows and events in TV history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Episode 555, submission number 1579. The Ewoks and Droids Adventure Hour. The Ewoks Droids Adventure Hour aired on ABC Saturday mornings from September 7th, 1985 to December 13th, 1986 for 26 episodes of the Ewoks and 14 episodes of the Droids.
So the Ewoks got more episodes than the Droids.
The Ewoks were the bigger thing, though, in the mid-'80s. I mean, they were Return of the Jedi, essentially. So naturally, they would get more episodes, at least in my opinion.
And they got those ABC TV movies.
There's a lot going on here because the Ewoks and the Droids had different themes, and actually, the Ewoks had different themes for each season. So you're going to hear 3 different themes throughout this episode.
We are brave, we are bold, like a storyteller told. They were strong and we will fight, and we'll stand up for our rights. We're the when the spirits of the forest moon. We are the when the spirits of the forest moon. Yes, we're home on the barrel and on highways in the trees. When we want to find high, we just sail out on the reef. That we're one big happy family. We are the one big happy family.
Big movie of 1983. Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Or as we know it now, Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi. Even though it's the 3rd movie of the series, it's canonically the 6th one.
We all know the big movie of 1983 was Flashdance.
Are you going to tell your Flashdance story again, Mike?
No, because there's not much to say because I couldn't see breasts because my mother was afraid I'd become some sort of like degenerate perv at age 8. Little did she know I wouldn't become a degenerate perv until I was 38. So I had to wait 30 years.
Yeah, it's when you bought the Showgirls DVD set.
No. Okay, first off, I think that's going to be in the next episode. But what I mentioned to Greg and Chico earlier is about 20 years ago, I went to Circuit City. That shows how long ago this was. And I noticed there was a special version of Showgirls on DVD. I don't know if it was for the 10th anniversary or what have you, but I did find it on Amazon. And using an incognito mode, I wanted to see what was in it because I vividly remember seeing that one of the things that came in this DVD set, the VIP limited edition set, not just a regular edition, was a pair of tassels. And it turns out the tassels were part of a pin the tail on the donkey game, but you weren't pinning a tail on a donkey, you were pinning tassels on, yeah. But also there were Showgirl shot glasses and a Showgirls deck of cards and all sorts of like bonus extras on this VIP edition. No, I didn't buy it. Do I have regrets? No, I saved probably $20 that day. And you can find it on Amazon. It's only $88. That's worth the price of admission. $88 to get a set of tassels. You can put them on and wear them around the house and maybe see if you can spin them in opposite directions.
I need an adult.
You need an adult. I need, like, therapy.
I'm sorry you expected to hear talk about Star Wars droids and Ewoks, and you got this instead.
Are we really sorry? No. Talk about your Ewoks and droids.
ABC, wanting to capitalize off of The Return of the Jedi, commissioned Nelvana and Lucasfilm to produce not one series, but two. One is based off the adventures of the Ewoks on the forest moon of Endor before the events of Star Wars A New Hope. And the other based on the adventures of R2-D2 and C-3PO 15 years before A New Hope and 2 years retroactively after the events of Revenge of the Sith.
Which is actually technically the 6th movie in the series, even though it's the 3rd canonically.
The way we're covering this is going to be absolutely weird because ABC canceled one of the series but renewed the other one. We have Nelvana and Lucasfilm coming together to create 2 different series with 2 different teams of producers behind the 2 different series. The Ewoks was developed by Bob Caro and Paul Dini. Paul Dini, of course, the mastermind behind Batman the Animated Series.
And of course, we all hold Batman the Animated Series in high esteem.
Droids, on the other hand, was developed by Peter Sauter and Ben Burt. Peter Sauter, a company man from Nelvana, he was responsible for Care Bears, Babar, and Strawberry Shortcake. And Ben Burt was a sound designer for Lucasfilm who worked on Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and E.T.
But let's get it clear here. He was the person who came up with the sound effects for R2-D2. So that's something to keep in mind. And he did the sound effects for the Pixar movie WALL-E.
We have 2 different collections of stories. One did slightly better than the other, but they were all supposedly canon thanks to the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm, and they're lumping all of the things that are not the movies or television series into, what is it, the Legends universe or something?
Yeah, all the comics from Dark Horse and all the old like Marvel comics and all that and all the books before the Disney acquisition are now in like their own separate timeline that's not canonical called the Legends timeline.
We're going to start with the Ewok series, which covers the adventures of Wicket W. Warwick and his friends on the forest moon of Endor before the events of Star Wars and the subsequent movies Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure and Ewoks The Battle for Endor.
Now hold on, do you know who's in Ewoks The Battle for Endor, guys? Wilford Brimley. So you know what that means. Diabetes. Hey, Wicket, you ever have diabetes? I hope Darth Vader doesn't have diabetes.
We have several families of Ewoks, the Warwick family, the Kintaka family, Tebow's family, and Latara's family. And they're up against, because there has to be a villain in this series, Borag the Tulgan Witch, who had a personal grudge against the tribe's shaman, Master Logray, and the Duloks, a rival species. Jim Henshaw, a noted Canadian theater actor and screenwriter, voiced Wicket W. Warwick in Season 1, whereas Denny Delk took up the role in Season 2, Denny Delk, known as the voice of Murray in the Monkey Island games for LucasArts games.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
His brother, Whittle Willie Warwick, is played by John Stalker, best known as Toad in the various Super Mario Brothers animated series.
Okay, so since we mentioned the Super Mario animated series, let me point out again that Danny Wells did not go to the elevator shaft on LA Law, okay? I said that wrongly in the Quarter Country episode. I still regret saying that.
Then we have Weechie Warwick, played by Greg Swanson, Deej Warwick, the father to Wicket Weechie, Willie, and the youngest child, Winda, played by Richard Donat. His wife, Shodu Warwick, played by Nani Griffin and Esther Scott. And the great-grandfather, Urfa Warwick, voiced by Anthony Parr. The Kintaka family is led by Princess Nisa Ajari Kintaka, the youngest daughter, Chief Chirpa and Raleigh, played by Cree Summer and Janine Reynolds. The older daughter of Chief Chirpa and Princess Nisa's sister, Asha, is played by Tabitha St. Germain, who is just in all of the anime you ever watched growing up. Their father, Chief Chirpa, played by George Busa, who is the voice of Beast in X-Men the Animated Series and X-Men 97. Nissa's cousin Poplu, played by Paul Chato, and Chief Chirpa's sister Bozzy is played by Pam Hyatt. Timo is voiced by Eric Peterson, and Malani, who is voiced by Allison Court, known as the voice of Lydia Dietz in the Beetlejuice animated series.
Oh, wait a second. Since we mentioned Beetlejuice, the animated series, and since we mentioned Alec Baldwin last week, can we now update myself about Knots Landing right now, of where I am right now?
For all of you who don't know, Greg has been binge watching all of Knots Landing. He's up to episode 5 of season 7 now.
No, episode 8 now.
Oh, you snuck in a few episodes. Awesome. Joshua, played by Alec Baldwin, is earning the hate, as it were.
Oh, yeah, he is now total WWF 1986 heel right now. Getting pissed at Kathy because she sung Never Surrender by Corey Hort. A f***ing great cover, mind you, of Never Surrender, sung by Lisa Hortman. He got pissed over that. And now he got canceled. No, not canceled in the 2025 sense. No, I mean his show got canceled. And now he's pissed.
And finally, you have Latara's family, voiced by Tabra Johnson, Leanne Coppin, Michael Fantini, and Sue Murphy. The Dulocs were led by King Gornish, voiced by Dan Hennessy, best known for voicing Braveheart Lion in the Care Bears movies and TV series. And Queen Orga, voiced by Melanie Brown. Let's go over all of these episodes, most of which were written by show developer Paul Dini. Episode 1, The Cries of the Trees. Morag captures Isrina, queen of the Wisties, and forces her to set fire to the forest. The young Ewoks extinguish the flames via glider. Episode 2, The Haunted Village. Master Logray has developed invisibility soap to hide the sunberry trees from the destructive Mantagru. The Ewoks manage to save the trees despite the Dulocs' interference.
Wait, I got a question here. He has invisibility soap? So you put soap on yourself and you're invisible. The Ewoks have magic invisible soap.
Greg, have you never seen the Tom and Jerry episode where Jerry and the duckling hide from Tom by using vanishing cream? the same sort of deal there, Greg. It makes sense when I break it down that way.
Episode 3, Rampage of the Flogs. Morag prompts the family of Flogs to rampage the Ewok village. Wicket and his friends rescue and return the Flogs their baby from the Dulocs. Episode 4, To Save Deej. The Warwick brothers are tasked to find ingredients for Master Logray to brew a poison cure for Deej. A creature called Mring Mring ensures their quest is a success. Episode 5, The Traveling Jindas. Lacking appreciation for her flute playing, Latara joins the Traveling Jindas. Wicket and his friends rescue Latara from becoming lost and becoming captured by the Dulocs. Episode 6, The Tree of Light. Wicket, Princess Knisa, and Latara follow, uninvited, on an expedition on a quest to restore the Tree of Life, while the Dulocs are intent on destroying the tree. Episode 7, The Curse of the Jindas. Master Logray stops the curse that affects the Jindas after they rescue Wicket and his friends from the Skandits. This angers the rock wizard, but Princess Knisa has the stone tooth to cure the wizard's pain. Episode 8, The Land of the Goopins. After rescuing Mring Mring's brother, Ubel, Wicket and his friends journey with them to save the Goopins' homeland from the Grass Trekkers. Episode 9, Sunstar vs. Shadowstone. Morag captures Tebow and his friends as ransom for the Sunstar. Morag utilizes the full power of the combined Sunstar Shadowstone, but Master Logray destroys her for good. Episode 10, Wicket's Wagon. Inspired by his ancestor, Wicket rebuilds an old battle wagon. The Dulocs steal it, but Wicket and Milani jump aboard and collapse the wagon. Episode 11, The Three Lessons. Princess Knisa goes with Wicket to gather ingredients to shrink a stranglethorn she accidentally overgrew. With the help of some tromes, Wicket gets the required potion. Episode 12, Blue Harvest.
Gee, I wonder what that's referencing. In case you don't know, that was the working title of Return of the Jedi. And that one episode of Family Guy that was a Star Wars parody, the first one.
In a plot to steal the Ewoks' harvest, Umwok unwittingly causes a flog named Huna to romance with Wicket. The Dulocs take advantage of this, but Wicket turns Huna against them. And the final episode of Season 1, Asha. Knisa and Wicket find Knisa's long-lost sister Asha and help her to repel the Dulocs, hunting defenseless creatures before reuniting her with Chief Chirpa. We ran all 13 episodes of Ewoks. ABC loved it. The audience loved it. They turn around and order a second season, but with some tweaks. The episodes are now, instead of one full half hour, they are 2 11-minute shorts. Bear that in mind as we go over Season 2, which also has a new theme song. Episode 1 of Season 2 is The Crystal Cloak and the Wish Plant. In The Crystal Cloak, an ambitious Wicket goes with his friends on a quest for the Crystal Cloak stolen by the Graka. They end up destroying the crystal cloak instead. And in the wish plant, the Leaf Queen assigns Kanisa to care for a wish plant. Her friends abuse the plant with their wishes. Kanisa manages to restore the plant before the Leaf Queen's arrival. Episode 2. Home is where the Shrieks are and Princess Latara. Wicket and Tebow try to live by themselves in a house inhabited by Larry the Shriek, who convinces them they are better off back at home. And in Princess Latara, the Gorf Queen Slugga kidnaps Latara masquerading as a princess for her son to marry. Wicket and his friends rescue Latara and trap the Gorf. Episode 3. The Reich. Wicket accidentally unleashes the Reich from its tree-formed prison. With some help from the two-headed Gonster, Wicket and his friends trap the Reich as it was before. Episode number 4, The Totem Master and a Gift for Shodu. Creatures in the guise of a totem, led by the Master, rob the Ewok village. Wicket and his friends follow the Master and destroy him along with his curse. And in a gift for Shodu, Wicket and his friends venture into an ancient temple to get a jewel for Shodu's birthday. That jewel turns out to be an egg of the Scover Dragon. Episode 5, Night of the Stranger. A phantom has the Dulocs raid the Ewok village to steal the Sunstar. Wicket and his friends manage to prevent a phantom exodus from taking place.
A phantom exodus, you say? Well, at least it's not a phantom menace.
Episode 6, Gone with the Mimps and the First Apprentice. Wicket is captured by the Mimps after a failed hunt for a Hanadak, but then he has to rescue them from the rampaging Hanadak. And ex-apprentice Zarok tries to teach Tebow his secrets, but tires of his failures. Wicket, his friends, rescue Tebow, and Tebow masters enough magic to defeat Zarok. Episode 7. Hard Sell and a Warrior and a Lordo. Wicket and his friends compete selling Moose goods for some valuable horns, but they end up empty-handed. And in A Warrior and a Lordo, Tebow flunks at Wicket's warrior training, but is asked by the Tambles to chase away a creature named Blog. Tebow sticks with magic to destroy the Blog's dam. Episode 8, The Season Scepter. Pressured by Odra, the Snow King freezes the lands of Endor. Wicket and his friends restore the balance of Endor's seasons after liberating the Season Scepter. Episode 9, Prow Beaten. Wicket and his friends accidentally lose Chirpa's canoe, prow carving, to the Dulocs. While trying to get it back, they destroy Orga's battleship. And in Baga's rival, Kanisa takes in a Quarf, a shape-shifting monster, sent to hold her ransom for the Sunstar. Wicket and Baga come to the rescue. Episode 10, Horville's Hut of Horrors and the Tragic Flute. A visit to Horville's Hut of Horrors puts the Walklings into a crying fit. An attempt to hide the truth only makes Wicket regret it. And in the Tragic Flute, Latara gets captured by a creature who takes greedy people to be his slaves, so Wicket, Kanisa, and Tebow have to rescue her, but to get out, Latara must first pass the test. Episode 11, Just My Luck and Bringing Up Norky.
Now, hold on a second. Just by luck, is TK Carter going to cameo in the episode?
No, Richard Gilliland is.
Oh, I was hoping for Rod McCary.
Wicket experiences bad luck when he takes his warrior's test. And in Bringing Up Norky, to Wicket's chagrin, his family babysits the unruly Norky.
Oh, it would have been so great if we had TK Carter as a genie trying to help out Wicket. Help all the Ewoks. That would be a great episode.
Episode 12, Battle for the Sunstar. Dr. Rhaegar, a mad scientist from the Galactic Empire, arrives to steal the Sunstar, and it's up to Wicket and his friends to stop him. This forms, because it was re-aired as the series finale, a connection to Return of the Jedi, because it shows the Ewoks leaving the forest moon's surface when they go aboard an Imperial Star Destroyer that has traveled to their system. The Imperial scientist attempts to destroy the Emperor, whose shuttle makes an appearance. It also features the Empire using Endor as its base of operations for the second Death Star.
So this basically leads into Return of the Jedi.
Yes. That's why it was aired again as the series finale. But the actual series finale, episode 13, Party Ewok and Malani the Warrior. In Party Ewok, Kanisa's friends save her from a gang. And in Malani the Warrior, Malani wants to join the Warrior Games, but some thieves come to take the Sunstar. And that's the Ewoks. Episodes have been made available on VHS in the 80s. And the entire series in 2021 was made available on Disney Plus. I do not know if it's still there, though. A second collection of Ewoks was released on DVD in 2004 under the banner Star Wars Animated Adventures Ewoks.
And now, Droids.
Stepping softly in a danger zone. No weapon in my hand. It's just this phrase designed by man. Got me trouble again. Trouble again. Put my life in jeopardy. In the surface of my brain, I wouldn't care, but it's a dangerous affair. 'Cause I'm in trouble again. Trouble again.
You know who wrote and performed that theme song?
Oh, who wrote and performed it, Chico?
Stuart Copeland of The Police.
Oh my god. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because around this time he also did the theme song to The Equalizer.
One season of The Droids, following the adventures of R2-D2 and C-3PO as they face off against gangsters, criminals, pirates, bounty hunters, the Galactic Empire, and each other. They find themselves in the service of successive new masters and difficult situations as a result. This creates a continuity error of sorts because after Revenge of the Sith, you remember the droids were placed in the care of one Captain Antilles. Here we see C-3PO and R2-D2 going from master to master to master. But in A New Hope, C-3PO tells Luke Skywalker that their last master was Captain Antilles. I'm trying to figure this out. But then again, I remember, if I'm not mistaken, their memories were wiped.
Yeah, they could just be thinking nonsense.
Reprising his role as C-3PO from the movies is Anthony Daniels, with a long list of American and Canadian voice talents performing supplemental roles. Long John Baldry, Melanie Brown, George Buza, Cree Summer, her father Don Franks, Maurice Godin, Dan Hennessy, Deborah Johnson, Ken Pogue, Andrew Sabiston, John Stalker, and Noam Zilberman.
Okay, now before we get into the series, guys, I need to bring up something about C3PO. Now, in 1977, Topps released a famous error card in their Star Wars set involving C3PO. So I have the card posted. I want you to go to the chat and tell me what the hell is wrong with this picture, okay?
Oh boy.
You know what? In case you're wondering, no, I'm not even going to say it.
Oh, that's staying in. The I want to say it, but I don't want to say it. That is definitely staying in.
Okay, Charles Robinson, just say it.
That's a penis.
Hey, C3PO, tell us how you really feel about R2-D2.
Over the course of the series, the droids will team up with 3 different sets of masters, which corresponds to 3 different story arcs. They usually run into their new masters at the beginning of each, and at the end, are forced to leave. There is one episode, the 48-minute episode that we'll talk about later, which serves as the series finale, but it is aired out of order. Episode 1, which begins the Trigon arc. The White Witch. After being jettisoned over the deserts of Ingo by an unscrupulous former master, C-3PO and R2-D2 are taken in by speeder bike racers George Doucette and Thal Jobin. Kia Mal sees them accidentally cross a restricted zone and helps protect them from several deadly droids. One of gangster Tig Fromm's droids kidnaps Jord, and the droids assist Thal and Kia in rescuing Jord from Fromm's secret base, destroying much of his droid army in the process.
It's too bad that Susan St. James wasn't in this episode, or else she would probably said, Jord!
Episode 2, Escape into Terror. After C-3PO lets the hyperdrive of Kia's starship float away into space, he, R2-D2, Jord, and Thal stay with Kia and her mother Dema on Anu while trying to secure a new hyperdrive. The droids discover that Kia is a member of the Rebel Alliance, while Jord stays with Dema. Thal, Kia, and the droids sneak onto the Fromm's gang's ship in order to infiltrate the secret base on Ingo. There they capture the Trigon 1, a weaponized satellite created by the Fromm gang to take over the Galactic Quadrant. Episode 3, The Trigon Unleashed. After the Fromm gang raids the speeder shop on Ingo and captures Thal, Kia, and the droids, Tig reveals that he has kidnapped Jord and Dema, refusing to release them unless Thal reveals the location of the Trigon 1. Thal does so, but the group is imprisoned with Jord until the droids outsmart the guard. When Tig pilots the space weapon back to the base of his father, Sissy, he discovers that its controls have been sabotaged and programmed to crash into the base. Jord goes to commandeer an escape ship while Thal and Kia rescue Dema and the droids do what they can to help. Episode 4, A Race to the Finish. The team goes to Boonta to take part in a speeder race, but is pursued by the Fromm gang and forced to crash land. Sissy hires Boba Fett to help exact his revenge, despite Jabba the Hutt having placed a bounty on the crime lord. Tig plants a thermal detonator on the White Witch, and Fett chases Thal into the race. In the melee, the explosive is used to destroy Fett's speeder. The despondent bounty hunter rounds up the Fromms to take to Jabba. Thal, Jord, and Kia are offered careers with the Speeder Corporation, but refuse when they realize that R2-D2 and C-3PO would have to be reprogrammed. The droids leave their masters so they can take the job. One of the writers of this episode, Stephen Wright.
Wait, really?
Yeah, really.
Stephen Wright is not the person I would expect to be on an animated Star Wars cartoon.
And now we enter the Mon Jolpa arc. Episode 5, The Lost Prince. 3PO, R2, and their new master, John Tosh, to befriend a mysterious alien disguised as a droid. Captured by crime lord Kleb Zelek, They're forced to mine Nergon-14, a valuable unstable mineral used in proton torpedoes, which Zelok plans to sell to the Empire. In the mines, they meet Salig, who identifies their friend as Mon Julpa, Prince of the Tammuz-An. Together, they defeat the crime lord and escape the mines before they are destroyed in a Nergon-14 explosion. Episode 6, The New King. The droids, Jan, Mon Julpa, and Salig, along with fighter pilot Jessica Meade, travel to Tammuz-An to thwart Ko Zetek Cha, an evil vizier with ambitions to seize the throne of the planet Tammuz-An. To achieve his sinister plan, Zatek Cha hires bounty hunter IG-88 to capture Mon Julpa and his royal scepter, but the heroes manage to recover it and Mon Julpa is made king of Tammuz-An. This is the first appearance of IG-88 in the series. Episode 7, The Pirates of Tarnunga. While delivering the fuel to Tammuz-An, Jan, Jessica, and the droids are captured by the pirate Kaibo Ren Cha. Aboard his stolen Star Destroyer, Kaibo Ren, I know it sounds similar, but it's not, takes them to the water planet Tarnunga. After the heroes escape a giant sea monster, Jan and the droids distract the pirates by going after a decoy while Jessica recaptures the real fuel. After Jan and the droids escape, Mon Julpa sends forces to capture Ren. Episode 8, The Revenge of Kaibo Ren. Kaibo Ren is freed and he kidnaps Garen, the daughter of Lord Toda, Mon Julpa's political rival. The droids, Jan and Jessica, go to the planet Bogdan to rescue Garen before Mon Julpa is handed over as ransom. Ren's men arrive with Julpa, but Lord Toda and a squad of Tammuz-An soldiers have smuggled aboard Ren's own ship. Ren is sent back to prison and an alliance is forged between Julpa and Toda. Jessica decides to return to her freighter business and says goodbye to her friends. And the final episode of the Mon Julpa arc, Kobe and the Star Hunters. 3PO and R2 are assigned to chaperone Lord Toda's young son, Kobe, only to be captured by smugglers. They are eventually rescued by Jan, only for the droids to learn that he has been accepted into the Imperial Space Academy, leaving them once again masterless and on their own. Here we go to the Adventures of Mungo Baobab arc. Episode 10, Tale of the Rune Comets. Mungo Baobab, with R2 and 3PO in tow, begins searching for the powerful rune stones, but runs into an Imperial entanglement. Episode 11, The Rune Games. Having escaped, Mungo, 3PO, and R2 once again make their way for the planet Rune, but it turns out they have not seen the last of General Kung, a de facto governor desperate to win the support of the Empire. Episode 12, Across the Rune Sea. Mungo has just about given up hope on finding runestones and, accompanied by the droids, is about to return to his home planet, Manda. And the final regular-length episode and the conclusion of the Mungo Baobab arc, The Frozen Citadel. Mungo and the droids continue their search for the runestones, but Kung makes trouble for them. This leads into the hour-long special, The Great Heap, which aired some 8 months after this episode. C-3PO and R2-D2 travel to B2 with their new master, Mungo Baobab, and confront an Abominor-class droid named the Great Heap, which builds onto itself from the remains of other droids. After seeing all of these episodes, I can see why ABC decided against the second season. As far as cartoons go, this was way ahead of its time because nowadays you see really big cartoons and they exist in all of these story arcs. I mean, Demon Slayer for one, and hell, Star Wars Rebels and The Bad Batch, they all exist in story arcs.
Yeah, so you could say this was ahead of its time.
Whereas Ewoks was basically, hey, one episode, we get it sorted in 11 minutes or 22 minutes, depending on the season.
And also, I think by 86, 87, it's like the Ewoks were more popular than the droids at this point.
Which is a shame because I liked watching the adventures of the two robots more than I liked watching the adventures of the groups of man-bear pigs on the forest moon of Endor.
Yeah. But you can't win them all. But I will say, it is a shame that neither series is available in full on DVD. We just have the selected episodes that are on DVD from when Fox put them out in the 2000s.
All of the episodes of Droids and all of the episodes of Ewoks are available right now to stream on Disney+.
Okay, so we got to confirm. Now, Chico, is the Clone Wars mini-sode cartoon from Cartoon Network in the 2000s on Disney+?
Yes, it is. Star Wars Vintage Clone Wars 2D micro series.
Wow. I did not expect that would be on Disney Plus, since that is, like, I guess obscure, because considering we now have, like, the better Clone Wars series, but, well.
And the Clone Wars movie.
That's right, the Clone Wars pilot animated movie.
Why was one abandoned, but one boosted? Well, according to David Perlmutter, compared with Ewoks, Droids was rudimentary with short enough storylines for as many as 4 narratives in a single episode. Obviously, neither George Lucas nor the animation studio had enough faith in the characters to trust them as anything other than second bananas. In addition, Sci-Fi Wire writes that Droids struggles to find a way to make the duo's live-action antics as entertaining on the small screen as they are on the silver one. The show tries to serve up a very, very kid-friendly take on that galaxy far, far away, and it doesn't always hit the mark.
Well, what can we say about the Star Wars Droids and Ewoks animated series, Chico?
You know what? I'm going to say it. They were cash grabs. Lucas wanted more out of the Ewoks and the droids. ABC wanted to cash in on the fad while there was still a fad to cash on. They had no problem facing off against the Empire, but against the likes of the Muppet Babies and the Smurfs, it just became a thing on TV.
You can find us at our website, itwasthathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was The Thing on TV Podcast, and elsewhere at It Was The Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time.
Pilot Month continues with a Time Lord looking for his next gig as a lawyer. But not your lawyer. Although he is surrounded by a lot of genius.
Now, hold on a second. You mentioned the doctor and the lawyers. So we're going to be talking about Peter Davison and Law & Order UK next time?
You know what? Dog ear that for some other time, because I'm talking about a different doctor and a different lawyer.
Oh.
And sadly, Universal had no use for either one of them. Unlike Peter Davison in Law & Order UK, which Universal made bank off of, let's be honest. Court is in session next time, right here on It Was a Thing on TV. For Greg, for Mike, I'm Chico. Thank you so much for listening. Please be kind to one another, and the Force will be with you. Always.
Wow!
Now, it's here. The excitement, The adventure of a new force at breakfast.
We'll call them C-3POs.
New C-3PO cereal from Kellogg's. Twin rings, phase together. For 2 crunches in every double O. A delicious part of this nutritious breakfast. Now you can experience the taste of Kellogg's C-3POs. A crunchy new force at breakfast.
May the force be with you.
Nerd!